Hey everyone, it's Pete from Philadelphia Waterscapes in partnership with Webb's Water Gardens again to show you another tutorial video. Today we are going to be doing a full spring cleaning on a pond. We call this our deluxe pond cleaning. Right now we have our team draining the water down out of the pond. Every time when we come to do a spring pond cleaning, one of the first things we do is we look at the water conditions. We like to see if we have crystal clear water, or maybe if the water has got a little bit of a pea soup green color. This will help us to determine how much water we want to save in a pond cleaning. You can see next to Tom here, we have two large collapsible pools, and that is what we're using to help salvage all of this water, or at least the majority of it. We don't want to do a full water change if we see that this water has been in good condition over the winter months. One of the first steps is our team is going to set one or two pump out pumps in the pond inside of a protected crate so that fish can't get to the pump. Today we're going to be using these really large koi socks. These are really good for helping to pull the real large fish out of here without harming their vertebrae. All of those fish are then going to be placed in these tanks, so they're at least kept in the same water that they've been used to being in. The last thing we need to do is go shocking any fish. So the film on the pond rocks are getting a little excessive at the moment, but that's what we're here to do today. We'll be flushing through all this algae. You can see here a little bit of filamentous algae here growing on some of the rocks. That's just a sign of a healthy, well-balanced ecosystem and good filtration. Now that we've saved as much water as we possibly can, it's time to start discharging water elsewhere onto the property. At which point, once the water gets down to less than a foot in depth, it'll make it a lot easier to pull these fish out safely without having to harm them or even chase them around with that skimmer net too much. On just about every pond cleaning that we do, we try to flush through all the rocks and gravel with the existing pond water and try as little as we possibly can to not use new tap water, which can actually disturb the ecosystem and the beneficial bacteria that's grown in all the cracks and crevices. So as you can see now, Tom is flushing through one of our plant pockets of gravel, which is just filled with nutrients. The last thing we want to do is disturb any of that with tap water that may have chlorine in it. But again, we'll keep flushing through the system until it's so murky that it's time to discharge some, and then maybe fill up with a little bit of tap water. But at this point, the team is going to start getting ready to power wash the pond and really get all that algae off and really bring all these rocks back to new for the season. So a lot of people ask, why is it important to clean your pond every season? Well, there's a lot of gunk that builds up in the pond throughout the year. A lot of that gunk, or muddy water, so to say, is actually full of just anaerobic bacteria, which is poisonous to the fish and really to the whole ecosystem in general. So it's really good to flush all that out. And of course, one of the other upsides to cleaning your pond is that maybe coming out of the winter, you started to experience a bit of string algae growth or just some unsightly water conditions. Again, like you saw, we clean out the filter boxes, and sometimes the filter boxes will have plants inside of them. It's a really good time when you actually do a pond cleaning to actually cut back some of your plants. That's something that you're going to want to drain the pond down at least once a year or even every other year, so that you can trim back some of those root systems before they overtake the pond and the floor, because plants like water lilies love to collect sludge. I want to take some time to show you some of the products we keep on hand to help maintain a healthy ecosystem after a filter servicing. So So one of the most important treatments that you yourself should keep on hand at all times, and we always keep plenty of it on hand, is pond detoxifier, otherwise known as dechlorinator. This is basically what helps to detoxify, take all those toxins out of the tap water that you sometimes may be topping your pond off with. Or in some cases, when you're doing a full draining and cleaning of a pond like we are today, a very good couple 100 gallons sometimes of tap water can get reintroduced into the system. We want to make sure that tap water is safe for the fish, so that's where this product comes in handy. We like to dose our ponds with beneficial bacteria concentrate, a white powdery substance. It'll come with a measuring cup, as you can see here, and the measuring cup will tell you how much to dose your pond for based off of how many gallons it is. A lot of times a good standard practice for us is we take a dosage of this powder and we actually place it inside the skimmer box or somewhere where we know that the water is going to be well circulated back into the system. Typically during a spring pond maintenance like you see behind us here, we like to dose the ponds with what we call rapid clear flocculant. Obviously, every time we disturb the pond water during a cleaning like this and we go to turn the pond back on, it's gonna get a little murky. That water is gonna be a little cloudy for a day or so. We like to speed up the process of clearing that water up as quick as possible with this product. So all in all, speeding up that clearing process. So probably the most important part of the pond cleaning process is reacclimating the fish to the new water. And again, as you saw in a prior part to our videos, we like to save as much of the original pond water as possible in our storage tanks. But again, we do still end up filling the pond up with a little bit of tap water and sometimes a lot of tap water in some situations. So when we reintroduce fish from that old water that they were used to being in versus the new tap water, there could be a slight temperature difference, if not a drastic temperature difference. It's always good to keep a temperature gun handy when it comes time to reacclimate the fish. If you filled up the pond with majority of brand new water, but the water that they are sitting in might be off by a bit more than 5 degrees, sometimes it's nice to introduce some of that new water slowly into their old water before placing the fish back into the pond. So again, to go over it all, really just the importance of doing this pond cleaning every year is to stabilize the ecosystem, give it that jump start it needs for the year, increase your water quality, and really just spruce things up and make it an overall more enjoyable experience for you for the year to come and the season to come. As always, we appreciate you guys watching our videos for pond maintenance. I'm Pete Gallo with Philadelphia Waterscapes in partnership with Webb's Water Gardens. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next tutorial.